Alright y'all, let's talk about what your gun brand says about you. Is S&W your brand, or are you a refined owner with a Beretta? It's time to roast what you own. Now even if you're not stateside, you know as well as we do that sometimes you need that little extra peace of mind. When things go sideways, having a reliable, well-trained tool on you can make all the difference. Today we're diving into what your choice in firearms says about your personality. I've seen them all. The Glock fanboys, the 1911 zealots who won't shut up about 2 world wars, and the guys who bring a $4,000 custom race gun to a casual range day. Your gun says more about you than you think, and we're here to spill the beans. Now before you get triggered, pun absolutely intended, remember, we're all just having fun here. If we roast your favorite gun, grab a beer, laugh it off, and let us know in the comments what we got wrong. Let's dive in. Number 1. Browning High Power. So your sidearm of choice is the Browning High Power? Well, aren't you just a fancy history buff? Let me guess, you've got a leather-bound collection of war memoirs, and you correct people at parties about the difference between clip and magazine. The high-power owner is usually the guy who complains that they don't make them like they used to while sipping single malt whiskey. You probably own at least 3 tweed jackets and have strong opinions about fountain pens. You're not just buying a gun, you're buying a conversation piece. Did you know John Browning never actually completed this design? Yes, we know. You've told us 17 times. But we'll give you this. You've got taste. The high power is basically the Sean Connery of handguns. Classic, distinguished, and still impressive decades later. You might be pretentious, but at least you're pretentious with style. Number 2. SIG Sauer P226. Ah, the SIG P226 owner. You're the type who Googled, "What gun do Navy SEALs use?" and immediately maxed out your credit card. You've watched every tactical shooting course on YouTube and have a drawer full of 5.11 pants, but you've never actually been in the military. When you're at the range, you casually mention, "Yeah, this is basically what the Special Forces use," to anyone within earshot. We get it, you're basically Jason Bourne in your mind. Your Instagram is full of poorly lit photos of your SIG next to a fancy watch you can't really afford and a pocket knife you've never actually used for anything except opening Amazon packages. But here's the thing, despite your mall ninja tendencies, you actually made a solid choice. The P226 is like the German sports car of guns, over-engineered, reliable as hell, and yes, actually professional grade. So even though you're living out your action hero fantasy, at least you're doing it with a gun that won't let you down. Number 3. HKUSP. The HKUSP owner. Oh boy. You're the guy who thinks spending more money automatically makes something better. You've got that "you suck and we hate you" HK attitude down pat, don't you? You laugh at Glock owners for having plastic toys while conveniently ignoring that your precious HK is also polymer framed. The difference? You paid twice as much for yours, and by God, you need everyone to know it. Your range bag costs more than most people's guns. You've got a custom Pelican case with foam cutouts for your USP and its 17 magazines. You clean your gun after every range trip while lecturing others about European engineering superiority. But deep down, what really drives your HK obsession is that scene from The Professional where Gene Reno pulls out his USP. You've watched it 600 times and still get goosebumps. It's okay, we understand. You're not just buying a gun, you're buying an identity. An overpriced, unnecessarily complicated identity, but an identity nonetheless. Number 4. Glock 19 Gen 5. The Glock 19 owner. You're basically the person who orders a plain cheese pizza and thinks they're a culinary expert. It's all about the basics, you say, as if choosing the Toyota Camry of handguns makes you Sun Tzu. Your personality can be summed up as aggressively average. You did exactly 15 minutes of research before buying the exact same gun as 70% of America. Your idea of customization is putting on a $30 light from Amazon that'll break after 3 range sessions. Every conversation about guns eventually leads to you saying, "Yeah, but the Glock is just so reliable." We know. Everyone knows. It's like saying water is wet or that the sky is blue. But here's the annoying part. You're not wrong. The Glock 19 is the firearm equivalent of a Labrador Retriever. Not exciting, but damn near perfect at what it does. It's boring, it's ugly, it's everywhere, and it flat out works. So while we're making fun of your basic taste, deep down we're all a little jealous of your practical sensibility. But we'll never admit it. Number 5. LifeCard .22 LR. If you own a LifeCard .22 LR, you're the kind of person who thinks James Bond gadgets are actual self-defense tools. You probably have a wallet that turns into a knife and shoes with secret compartments. You spent $400 on what is essentially a single-shot .22 that folds up like origami, and you tell everyone it's because you're tactical and prepared. But let's be honest, you bought it because you thought it looked cool, and now it sits in your safe while you try to justify the purchase. The LifeCard owner is fascinatedly impractical. You're the guy who brings a multi-tool with 47 functions to open a beer bottle. You've watched too many spy movies and genuinely believe you might need to conceal a gun in your wallet someday. When friends come over, you whip it out like it's the coolest thing ever. Look how it folds up. Meanwhile, they're thinking about how many actual useful guns you could have bought for the same price. But hey, at least you'll be prepared for that very specific situation where you need to shoot 1 round of .22 LR before spending 2 minutes unfolding your gun again. Number 6. Beretta 92 FS. The Beretta 92 FS owner. You've seen Die Hard more times than you've called your mother this year. Every time you pick up your Beretta, you mutter "yippee-ki-yay" under your breath, thinking no one notices. We notice. You're the guy who thinks style points count in a gunfight. Your gun is too big, too heavy, and has more moving parts than a Swiss watch, but damn it, it looks beautiful. You probably own at least 1 leather jacket that you think makes you look like an Italian action star. At the range, you try to pretend the slide-mounted safety doesn't annoy you. It's actually more intuitive, you lie, as you fumble with it for the 3rd time. Deep down, you know the gun is outdated, but you'll defend it to the death because it's not just a gun. It's part of your identity now. But we'll give you this. The 92 FS is like a supermodel. High maintenance and temperamental, but so gorgeous that you put up with it anyway. And when that thing runs well, few guns feel as satisfying to shoot. Just like John McClane, it might be older and carrying too much weight, but it still gets the job done with style. Number 7. Remington 870. Remington 870 owners are the guys who think simplicity equals wisdom. All you need is a pump shotgun for home defense, you proclaim, as if you've unlocked some ancient secret knowledge that the rest of us haven't figured out. You're the type who thinks that the sound of racking a pump is an actual self-defense strategy. Newsflash. If you're racking your shotgun as a warning, you weren't ready for a confrontation in the first place. Your 870 has probably been passed down through at least 1 generation, and you talk about it like it's a sacred family heirloom, rather than a mass-produced firearm that literally millions of people own. They don't make them like this anymore. You say about a gun they've been making continuously since the 1950s. But here's the truth. You're right about the 870 being a damn good choice. It's the pickup truck of shotguns, not flashy, but it'll outlive you, your kids, and probably civilization itself. So go ahead and be smug about your practical choice. You've earned it with that bruised shoulder from refusing to admit you need a recoil pad. Number 8. Luger P08. If you own a Luger P08, you're either a serious collector with deep pockets or you inherited it from Grandpa who brought it back from the war. Either way, you spend more time looking at it than shooting it. Your gun cabinet costs more than most people's cars, and you have strong opinions about proper humidity levels for wood furniture. At the range, you get nervous if anyone even looks at your precious Luger. You've got white gloves in your range bag specifically for handling it, and you nearly have a heart attack when someone asks if they can hold it. Do you know what this is worth? Is your catchphrase. You're preserving history, even if you are insufferably precious about it. That toggle lock action is engineering art, and watching it cycle is like seeing a mechanical ballet. Just maybe loosen up a bit and actually shoot the thing occasionally. Guns were meant to fire, not just sit in velvet-lined cases while you bore people with its backstory. Number 9. Beretta M9A4. The Beretta M9A4 owner is caught in a strange time warp. You know the platform is outdated, but you've convinced yourself that this newer version fixes all the problems. Narrator voice, it doesn't. You're the type who trades in their 2010 iPhone for the 2011 model and thinks they're cutting edge. Look, it has a rail and an optics cut now, you exclaim, as if that transforms a 40-year-old design into something revolutionary. And buying the M9A4 is your way of recapturing your youth while telling yourself you're being practical. It's the gun equivalent of a middle-aged man buying a slightly sportier minivan. That said, we can't completely roast your choice. There's something admirable about sticking with what you know while making modest upgrades. The M9A4 is like comfort food with a sprinkle of modern seasoning, familiar but improved. Just stop pretending it's the best thing since sliced bread when we all know you bought it for the nostalgia. If you own a Smith & Wesson Model 29, you've seen Dirty Harry at least 47 times, and unironically ask people if they feel lucky when showing off your gun. Your personality is 90% Clint Eastwood squint and 10% actual substance. You've convinced yourself that carrying a giant revolver chambered in .44 Magnum makes practical sense, even though your wrist cries a little every time you fire it. It's about stopping power, you explain, as if you're regularly getting into shootouts with elephants at the supermarket. Your gun cleaning kit includes leather gloves and special oils that cost more per ounce than good whiskey. You have strong opinions about stainless versus blued finish and have alienated family members by expressing these opinions at length during Thanksgiving dinner. But we get it. The Model 29 isn't just a gun, it's a statement piece. It's the mechanical equivalent of a muscle car. Impractical, excessive, and absolutely glorious. In a world of polymer-framed, striker-fired sameness, you're defiantly waving the flag of old-school cool. And we respect that, even if your wrist doesn't. Number 11. Colt Python. The Colt Python owner is the horological snob of the gun world. You don't just own a revolver, you own functional art, as you never tire of telling people. Your gun cabinet has special lighting to highlight the Python's royal blue finish. You're the type who uses words like craftsmanship and bygone era with a straight face. You've practiced drawing your Python in the mirror more times than you'd admit, usually while wearing a vintage leather jacket that costs more than most people's monthly rent. At the range, you shoot precisely 3 cylinders before carefully cleaning your Python, looking around to make sure everyone notices your heirloom-quality firearm. You secretly hope someone asks about it so you can launch into your rehearsed speech about American manufacturing excellence. But here's the thing about Python owners. Your pretentiousness is actually justified. The Python genuinely is mechanical artwork, with a trigger that makes other guns feel like staple guns by comparison. It's like owning a Rolex in a world of Timex. Ostentatious, maybe unnecessary, but undeniably special. Just maybe talk about it a little less. Number 12. Winchester Model 70 Pre-64. If your pride and joy is a Pre-64 Winchester Model 70, you're the type who uses the word gentleman unironically and probably owns tweed hunting jackets with leather patches on the elbows. You're not just a hunter, you're a sportsman. You bore everyone at the range with unsolicited history lessons about why Pre-64 production is superior. Feel that controlled round feeding, you say, caressing your rifle in a way that makes others slightly uncomfortable. Your hunting cabin has more taxidermy than furniture, and you refer to your Model 70 by name, usually something like Old Faithful or the Patriarch. You've written at least one letter to a gun magazine correcting their terminology. But we have to hand it to you. The Pre-64 Model 70 owner understands something that many modern gun buyers miss, that true quality and craftsmanship have intrinsic value beyond mere function. You're not just buying a gun, you're buying into a heritage of American gun making at its zenith. So go ahead and be smug. You've earned it with that beautiful piece of walnut and steel that'll still be dropping bucks long after the tactical plastic guns have cracked and failed. Number 13. Ruger Mini 14GB. The Ruger Mini 14 owner is the contrarian of the gun world. While everyone else went AR-15, you zagged and now base half your personality on not being like other gun owners. You've used the phrase "just as good" so many times it should be engraved on your tombstone. You're convinced you've outsmarted everyone by choosing a rifle that looks less tactical, but still functions similarly to an AR. It's less likely to be banned, you say, as if politicians make gun laws based on aesthetics rather than keywords they heard on CNN. Your Mini 14 has probably never had its barrel free-floated, its trigger is gritty, and its accuracy is, well, let's just say you've convinced yourself that minute of bad guy is a legitimate standard of precision. But we'll give you this, there's something refreshingly honest about the Mini 14 owner. You're not trying to look like a Navy SEAL or win Instagram likes. You just want a reliable .223 rifle that works without fuss or drama. Plus, you can tell everyone you have the same gun as the A-Team, which is objectively cool. So while we're all meticulously building our custom ARs, you're out there actually enjoying shooting yours. Maybe you're onto something after all. Number 14. Thompson Center Contender. If you own a Thompson Center Contender, you're the guy who brings a protractor to the shooting range. Your idea of a good time is calculating ballistic coefficients, and you have spreadsheets, actual spreadsheets, tracking your hand loads. The Contender owner isn't satisfied with normal guns for normal people. You need a single-shot pistol with interchangeable barrels that can fire everything from .22 LR to rifle cartridges that make your wrist question its life choices. Because apparently, regular hunting wasn't challenging enough. Your gun safe has more Contender barrels than most people have socks, and each one has its own carefully labeled case. You've spent more time researching obscure cartridges than most people spend sleeping. Terms like sectional density and terminal ballistics pepper your everyday conversation. But you know what? We respect the Thompson Center Contender owner. You're the mad scientist of the gun world, experimentally minded, detail-oriented, and uncompromising in your quest for the perfect shot. While the rest of us are spraying lead downrange, you're turning shooting into a science. Just maybe talk about something other than bullet coefficients at parties, okay? Number 15. FAL. The FAL owner is perpetually preparing for a conflict that ended 40 years ago. You've got a closet full of surplus military gear from countries you couldn't find on a map, and you unironically use phrases like "right arm of the free world" in casual conversation. You can identify every FAL variant by sight, but still get confused by the self-checkout at the grocery store. Your browser history is full of searches for Rhodesian brushstroke pattern and how to install FAL carry handle. At the range, you struggle with that 20-pound battle rifle, while guys with ARs shoot comfortably for hours. It's about stopping power and reliability, you insist, as your shoulder slowly develops a bruise the size of Texas. But there's something gloriously committed about the FAL owner. In a world of polymer and aluminum, you've chosen steel and wood. Your gun weighs as much as a small child and fires a cartridge designed to stop Soviet hordes in their tracks. It's impractical, outdated, and magnificent. In your mind, you're not just a gun owner. You're carrying on a tradition of battle rifles that won the Cold War. And honestly, that kind of historical romance in an age of disposable everything is kind of beautiful. Number 16. Walther PPK. If you own a Walther PPK, your personality is 90% James Bond fantasies and 10% dealing with the reality that it's actually not a great carry gun by modern standards. You've practiced introducing yourself as last name, first name in the mirror more times than you'll ever admit. You dress slightly better than required for any occasion, and you've definitely ordered a martini, shaken, not stirred, while making eye contact with your PPK carrying hip. Your significant other rolls their eyes so hard they can see their own brain when you do this. Your PPK is more of a fashion accessory than a practical firearm. The sight radius is tiny, The trigger is mediocre, and the capacity is laughable by today's standards, but none of that matters because it's not about function. It's about style, darling. But here's the thing about PPK owners. You understand something fundamental that many modern gun buyers miss. Character matters. In a world of identical plastic striker-fired pistols, you've chosen a design with history, elegance, and personality. The PPK is like a fine mechanical watch in a world of Apple Watches. Less practical, perhaps, but infinitely more charming. Just stop humming the Bond theme when you draw it, for everyone's sake. Number 17. Colt 1911 Series 70. The 1911 Series 70 owner won't stop talking about 2 world wars, as if firearms technology hasn't advanced in the last 110 years. Your personality is 45% nostalgia, 45% stubbornness, and 10% constantly explaining why 7 rounds is enough if you aim good. You've got strong opinions about stopping power and use phrases like man-stopper without a hint of irony. You probably own at least 3 different leather holsters, all of them worn and shaped to your specific 1911, which you've named something like Betsy or the Peacemaker. At the range, you look down on Glock owners with their plastic toys, while secretly envying their ability to fire 500 rounds without a single malfunction. Meanwhile, you're over there, tweaking your extractor tension between jams. But we'll give you this. The 1911 Series 70 owner appreciates craftsmanship in an age of mass production. Your gun isn't just a tool. It's a piece of American heritage, a mechanical masterpiece with a trigger that makes modern handguns feel like squeezing a stapler. Your choice says you value tradition, craftsmanship, and the kind of timeless design that becomes an icon. Just maybe carry a backup gun with more than 7+1 capacity, okay? Number 18. H&K MP5. If you own an H&K MP5, you've either got deep pockets or a questionable understanding of firearm laws and a good lawyer. Either way, you're the gun equivalent of someone who buys a Ferrari to drive to the grocery store. Massively overkill, but desperate to justify the expense. You've watched every hostage rescue scene in every action movie ever made, and you practice room clearing in your apartment when nobody's home. Your neighbors think you're weird because they've heard you whisper MP5, room temperature challenge, to yourself while getting the mail. Your social media is full of photos of your MP5 next to tactical coffee mugs and EDC gear that costs more than most people's monthly car payment. You use the word flex unironically when showing off your gun collection. But let's be honest, the MP5 is the unicorn of subguns for a reason. That roller-delayed blowback system makes it shoot like it's whispering sweet nothings instead of spitting 9mm. It's the gun equivalent of a perfectly tailored suit. Expensive, unnecessary for most situations, but undeniably special. So go ahead and be smug about your MP5. Number 19. AR-15 Pre-Banned Colt Sporter. The pre-banned Colt Sporter owner is the vinyl record collector of the gun world. You're not just buying a firearm, you're making an investment, a statement, and ensuring everyone knows you were into ARs before they were cool. You can recite the entire technical history of the AR platform from Eugene Stoner's original design to present day, and you absolutely will, unprompted, at social gatherings. You've alienated potential friends with detailed explanations of why pre-banned Colts have superior craftsmanship to modern production. Your gun safe has special humidity controls just for your precious pre-ban, and you handle it wearing white cotton gloves like it's the Declaration of Independence. You've fired it exactly twice since purchasing it at an eye-watering premium. But here's the thing about pre-banned Colt owners. Your obsession with authenticity and heritage, while sometimes annoying, preserves an important chapter in American firearms history. Your rifle isn't just a gun, it's a time capsule from before politicians decided certain cosmetic features were scary. So while we roll our eyes at your investment-grade firearm talk, deep down we respect your commitment to preservation. Just maybe shoot the thing occasionally? Number 20. Smith & Wesson Pre-Lock Revolvers. If you specifically collect pre-lock Smith & Wesson revolvers, you're gun world's equivalent of someone who refuses to update their phone because the old software worked fine. Your personality is 90% resistance to change and 10% smug satisfaction at your own discernment. You use words like travesty when describing the internal lock on newer S&W revolvers, as if they installed a self-destruct button rather than a largely ignorable safety feature. You've written at least 3 strongly worded forum posts about how S&W betrayed their heritage. At the gun shop, you automatically flip over any Smith revolver to check for the abomination, sighing dramatically when you spot the lock. You've bored countless friends with your dissertation on why pre-lock guns are just built better. But we'll give pre-lock S&W collectors this: you understand something important about voting with your dollars and preserving craftsmanship. Those old Smith revolvers represent a pinnacle of American gun making that's increasingly rare in our cost-cutting corporate world. Your obsession with pre-lock models has helped preserve their value and desirability, keeping a bit of gun-making history alive. Just maybe tone down the lecture next time someone shows up with a new 6.86. Well, folks, there you have it. A completely scientific, not at all biased assessment of what your gun says about you. Did we nail it? Did we miss the mark? Are you currently typing an angry comment? Good! Let us know what we got right or wrong in the comments below. Remember, at the end of the day, the best gun is the one you train with, trust, and can operate effectively when it counts. Whether it's a pre-banned Colt or a high point that looks like it was designed by a committee of blind engineers, what matters most is safe handling and responsible ownership. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And let us know what other gun topics you'd like us to cover in future videos. Until next time, keep your powder dry, your aim true, and your trigger finger responsible. See y'all in the next one.